What is going on, brothers and sisters? Eric Rosen here, your internal strength coach, here to show you how to overcome your greatest challenges so you can shine your brightest light. It is Monday, October 29th, 2018, and the thing that I wanted to present with you today is about having edge, having a personality with edge to it. So this is something I can speak on because this is actual feedback, real life feedback I get from people on like my personality, and it's not something that I go around boasting about. I mean, I take pride in my uniqueness, my authenticity, but wanted to share with you like my thoughts on having this personality with kind of like an edge to it. So first of all, like what's defined? What does that actually mean? Like we've all heard it, but just to clarify, edge is basically just having a bold, brash, like even kind of intense, personality to it. It's kind of like like when you think of like a smooth or rounded object, like everything is smooth. There's no sharp corners or anything like that. There's no abrasiveness to it. Whereas, the term edge is kind of like something has like a sharp corner or like a jaggedness to it. It's kind of like a way of saying, you know, um, like I will stand up, like for what I believe in, I will be bold, I will be intense if I have to be, as opposed to what I would describe as, more of a, I mean, there's different variations outside of edge, but, I mostly think of like kind of fitting in, as compared to someone who has edge. So, um, I think having edge is like really, it's pretty much the opposite of being normal. It can be boring if I'm being honest, from where my perspective is. It's um, it's it's people, whenever they're not willing to kind of step outside of whatever the norm is and be authentic. And that's why I thought this topic would be good today, is to understand like the overlap between authenticity and having an edge. So they're not necessarily the same thing, but like look at the common denominator. Being authentic and having edge, the common denominator is being bold, because being authentic is going to require of you to really step outside of whatever the norm is and be your true authentic self. And that takes a level of boldness, right? Because you can draw types of criticism, and there can really be this like uncomfortable aspect, especially when you're first starting out, if you're trying to do that. So I think that um, it's not a bad idea, to have an edge to your personality if that's what comes out authentically. You know, Most people aren't willing to be polarizing. They want to be liked by everybody. They want to get along with everyone. And quite honestly, if you're, at least in the day and age we live in now, if you're being authentic, if you're having a personality with edge, not everyone's going to like you, so you have to be willing to be polarizing. So, um, let's break down, 4 items that I came up with on what I think that it actually takes to, have an edge with personality, or at least how you can tell if you have one. So first one is having this state of inner happiness, or knowing what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled, as opposed to going out and doing what everyone else is doing, the keeping up with the Joneses concept of where you're trying to do the same things everyone else is doing to find fulfillment. Um, Someone who, has an edge to them, you know, they don't give a shit, necessarily like what other people are doing, like what makes their personality, brash and even bold, is being like, I know what makes me happy, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's bold, because a lot of times that's stepping outside the boundaries of like what most people think it's going to take. um, like everyone should be doing the same thing. Everyone should be going to the gym. Everyone should be eating a keto diet. Everyone should be driving a new car. Everyone should be owning instead of renting or something. So the next one up is enjoying challenges. Okay. It goes back to this kind of concept of like coloring between the lines, society of wanting to stay inside the boundaries, and there's a comfort inside those boundaries of, not wanting to step outside the norm, not wanting to step into the spotlight, not wanting to be intense, not wanting to be bold, versus, accepting the fact that there are going to be challenges. A person that has a personality with edge, they are not afraid to go through challenges, especially when they have this unwavering faith at knowing that there's going to be gold on the other side of this challenge, that it's going to make them grow. And they, they either enjoy it, like they're kind of like, wow, this is great. I don't know what's going to happen. There's a level of unknown here, and that can actually be fun. I know that comes off as strange probably to most people, because we all want to feel like a sense of security, but learn to embrace the unknown and having a sense of chaos in your life, through challenges on the unpredictability of it, I think is really key. So that's part of having an edge. Also, when bad luck happens, whatever you want to call it, bad luck, circumstance, stuff happens to you that, maybe you feel victimized by it, or you feel like it's a setback. You got the two choices. Most people, are going to, I don't know about most people, but a lot of people will play the victim mentality. It's kind of like the challenge is like the hammer, like hitting you, the nail, like on the head and driving you further and further into the ground. And, you could play the victim mentality, or you can be like, kind of this, what I would call like a weak surrendering aspect of like kind of giving up, being like, well, it just didn't work out. I tried to go, start a business, but, yeah, it just didn't work. And then you just kind of like go and, work, like a normal 9 to 5 job, but you clearly know you're not happy in it, but you feel like you got wronged, that you were a victim of circumstance. People with edge, they say, fuck that, and they take control of their reality. They take control of their destiny. People with edge have this realization and knowing that there's a time that they need to wield their dagger, to wield their sword, if you will, on saying, what, this is what happened to me, but I know that I'm better than this, and I know what I want, so I'm going to fight back, because I know, like, from a truth standpoint, like deep inside of me, like what my worth is and what I want and what I deserve. So, they take control. So, and then the final thing that I think that it takes for having a personality with edge is a level of self-love. So most people are, whether they're conscious of it or not, they're wanting to be validated. They're wanting to be validated by their peers, their loved ones, the rest of society. Social media is a huge one. It's when people just, don't have a level of self-love for themselves, so they're trying to fill that void. So they're trying to fill it with external validation. A person, with edge is, has a level of self-love because they're willing to be bold, intense, brash. They are willing to do things that may rock the boat, and they're okay with that because they don't need external validation. They're not worried about people being upset with them. They're not worried about what other people think. They're just going to do what they know is in alignment with their life, because they don't need that validation to feel that level of love. So to me, that's the common denominator here, like with all 4 of these things that I named off, is where you have this healthy mindset of relationships outside of yourself. A person that's willing to be bold, that's willing to be intense, that's willing to be brash, that's willing to have this edge, they know deep down what it is that they really want in their life. They know deep down what their truth is. They know deep down, what their life is about. They're not waiting for someone else to define their life for them. That's what I had for you guys on this topic today, about having an edge. I mean, notice too, find examples like in your life or even in media, even in the movies, of people, who have an edge. And then I want you to notice what people think about them too. And I'm not saying this should be the driving factor to having an edge, but people think they're cool. They're, if it's a man, the men want to be them, the women are attracted to them. This example comes to mind. I know not everyone's seen this show, but Californication with Hank Moody's character. I mean, it's so funny, you can watch the show and you can really try to, pick up on like, I don't get it. What makes this guy, able to sleep with so many women? Why is it that he seems so cool? And it's because he has an edge. It's because he is not looking for anybody to validate him. He is just, even though he has issues in his life, he's just willing to, be his true authentic self, that has, this brash, bold aspect to it. He does a lot of things in that show that a lot of people won't do. And that's, I think, what makes it such a attractive show for people to watch, is because they're looking and seeing this person that's doing behaviors they wish they could do. But the point is not to actually want to be that character. It's to inspire you to want to find your own authentic character with an edge. Hope you enjoyed this. Calling attention to the strange angle here I'm filming at today, just filming at a different time, and the sun was shining brightly through the window, so I had to like find like the spot in the good old meditation room to give you a video that didn't look too glary. So that's it, guys. Personal training and coaching. You can find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. Working on other social media sites. You can send me an email for more information about coaching and personal training. EricRosenCoaches@gmail.com. Thanks, guys.